You're listening to the No Labels, No Limits podcast with best-selling author Sarah Boxx, where you get the inside scoop on the steps action takers and decision makers take to align their purpose to their principles and achieve their goals in business and life. And now, without further ado, please welcome your commanding coach with plenty of chutzpah and heart, Sarah Boxx.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the No Labels, No Limits podcast. I'm Sarah Boxx, your host. This week is a special episode, and it's an opportunity to meet the team that makes up Sarah Boxx Coaching and Consulting. So I'm bringing on two of my best collaborators, colleagues, and I'd like to say friends, Summer Zifko and Maria Lees. And let me ask you each to introduce yourselves. And Maria, would you do us the honor of kicking this off?
Be happy to. Well, like you said, my name is Maria, and I am married to my husband, Josh. We have two little kids. I have a 2.5-year-old daughter and a 10-month-old son. And in addition to momming all day, I run a digital content strategy business. So basically, I work with clients like you, Sarah, to put together digital content strategy plans. So I do everything from the planning, the analytics, the content creating, and then also the scheduling, formatting, kind of anything within that digital content umbrella I handle for people. My role.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, go ahead.
My role with your team fits underneath that umbrella. So I do all of the writing for sarahboxx.com. So I do the emails, the email newsletters, the blog posts, the website copy, anything that kind of falls under written content is me.
Super. Summer, how about you?
Yes, my name is Summer Zifko. I'm married to my husband of 20 years. We have one 10-year-old daughter. We live in North Carolina very happily with our dog and our little white picket fence kind of thing. I actually am the owner of Virtually Progressive, which kind of stemmed out of becoming a mom 10 years ago. My role with Sarah Boxx team probably is best summarized by saying that I'm an online business manager. So any needs that come up, any visions that arise, I kind of am the troubleshooter and vision maker. So really just about anything. They say Jill of all trades, but I'm not sure how to really describe myself some days other than I can do just about anything.
Fair enough. I would agree with both of you, and how much difference you have made to my work and my way of thinking about working better and more collaboratively. So seriously, I'm not sure how I'd be doing without one or both of you. So let me ask you, what motivated you? You talked about starting your businesses, Summer 10 years ago, Maria more recently, but Summer, what motivated you to start your business?
Oh, really, it was less of a motivation, more of a necessity. I was kind of working, the 40-hour, 60-hour grind at the corporate world, not really climbing the ladder like I wanted to. Kind of really male-intensive workforce that I was working with at the time. And so you just get burnt out. And once you have a kid, your priorities change and family becomes more important. And, other things kind of have to take a second seat while your life adjusts. And because I'm clearly a worker bee, it became quite clear at my last job that I was just a number after a while. So I knew it was time to make that strategic exit plan. And ever since then, I really haven't looked back. It's been the best choice that I've made for myself, my sanity. It's really, really changed how much I can enjoy life and how I can be present. And now I have 4 businesses. So apparently I've definitely embraced the entrepreneurial lifestyle. And I mean, I started with you over 5 years ago. So I think you've probably seen us grow together in that way.
I have, and I find it ironic that you left corporate to have more space to slow down, and you've actually launched more businesses. So Maria, what about you? What was your motivation?
Yeah, my story's similar, honestly. I was a teacher. I taught middle school before starting my business, which I really enjoyed. I loved working with the students, and I was a language arts teacher, so writing has always kind of been in my wheelhouse. Um, but my big motivator, I guess, what really got this started was my daughter. I got pregnant shortly after my husband and I got married with our first child. And, we spent a lot of time talking and praying about what we wanted to do for childcare, and just ultimately decided that it was kind of both of our first choice to have me be at home with the kids. But financially, that is difficult to do just strictly on one income, or at least it was for us at the time. And so I started Googling like stay-at-home mom jobs, and just trying to come up with something that I could do to kind of bridge that gap a little bit. First I was like, I'll just babysit, or I don't know, like I was really willing to do anything because I was really motivated to be able to be home, and kind of stumbled across the online virtual assisting world. And as I started looking more into that, I realized that a lot of my skill set and passion as a writing teacher, as a writer myself, actually fit really well into this world. And so on a whim, I launched my business while I was still teaching. I was I think 6 or 7 months pregnant, and started a business, had a baby, and never went back to my teaching job. And it's been a fun journey. What started kind of as, me just looking for a way to make ends meet so that I could be home with my kids has become a real passion of mine, and actually been a huge gift for me in transitioning to being at home. It's given me something to kind of be creative in, a way for me to use my mind and, interact with adults, which is also really helpful. It's been actually way more of a gift for me than I even anticipated it would be. It's something I've really needed and grown to be very passionate about.
So the beauty about having our own businesses is that we can adapt and change. And I'm curious for both of you, what pivots or changes you have made over the last 2 years, specific to like the pandemic, how being at home, all of those things, how you've had to adapt, if you have at all, for family changes, work changes, all of that. Summer, you want to start us off?
Oh, sure. Well, when the pandemic hit, we really weren't sure what to expect. I mean, everybody was in foreign territory. I personally thought things would slow down across the board, but it turns out after analyzing my situation, I realized I worked for a bunch of entrepreneurs, and when they're isolated, nothing but more ideas come to light. So I turned out to be way busier than expected, and it really hasn't let up. It's just gotten busier and busier. To that extent, I mean, I've had to learn a few lessons, some of them the hard way, on the topic of learning and adapting, because my schedule is so tight now. There's a lot of demands on my time. I have to really finely tune my schedule in relation to my obligations, because otherwise, what's the point of having an entrepreneurial lifestyle if you can't be flexible? So I'm always trying to find that, balancing act between, satisfying client obligations and then being present in my personal life. So that's probably been the biggest challenge, but my best accomplishment, I think.
And Maria, Mom Maria, what about you in making changes and adapting?
Yeah, that has been the story of the game for me. I feel like every time I get into a new routine or rhythm with my business and life, something in life changes, and I have to refigure out how to make it all work, how to keep all the balls in the air. My biggest season of that definitely was when my son was born, my second child. So I had finally gotten into a really good groove with my daughter, with, her schedule and my work, and just balancing it all. I was finally feeling confident, like, okay, I've got this figured out. I know how to do it all. And then I had another baby and his schedule doesn't cooperate with hers a lot of the time. And I learned very quickly that just working during nap time isn't possible when your kids don't nap at the same time. And so that kind of has forced me, in the last few months to reevaluate my priorities and just like look for ways that I could cut back on some of my obligations in life. Some of that has looked like scaling back in some of my business, and really, narrowing in on what kind of work I want to do, what kind of clients I want to work with. Some of it's just been life stuff, like getting things off my plate in terms of to-do lists so that I can kind of reallocate my time appropriately. And then I've really had to learn how to ask for help and just enlist, help from my husband with different things. We have part-time childcare now, which is the only way that I'm able to do my business and still be present to my kids in the way that I want to be when I'm actually home with them part of the time. So it's been a learning experience of just adjusting expectations and redefining boundaries and priorities, and one that I'm sure will continue to keep changing as time goes on.
Most likely, maybe just different changes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to ask both of you this question. And I think about it from like when I wake up in the morning, sometimes if I don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing, it's hard for me to like anchor into my day. But then, and this morning was a great example. I knew we were going to have this conversation and I just got really excited about it because it's one way of me sharing with the community of folks we work with and share with. And then I think about all the other things that light me up and our standard times to meet together because you both fuel me with more ideas and confidence, and my list goes on. So what I want to know from each of you is what lights you up specifically about your work as it relates to its impact on the community of folks that we serve, and or how has the work you do here helped you grow in any way, if it has? Maria, you want to start?
Yeah, I would love to. I think for me, it's been really fun and interesting as a writer because so much of the work that I do is, researching different topics and really trying to think about how to explain different concepts in ways that other people will understand them. And so much of the content that we create for sarahboxx.com has, it's all about, personal development, growth, professional development, becoming a better version of yourself in so many different ways in your life. And as I've been like researching those things over the last few years to create this content, it's really had me kind of reflect on, how those concepts apply in my own life. And that is something that I didn't necessarily expect going in, but has been a really positive outcome. I feel like I am growing more. I'm being more intentional and setting goals and, planning things in my life and learning about myself and in my personality and, all of these different things because I have the opportunity to write about it for other people and to have to put myself into the shoes of whoever might be reading some of this content and try to understand at a deeper level what it is that we're trying to teach. And I think in particular, we recently started diving more into the Enneagram and different personality assessment tools. And that has been a really fun one for me to learn about because I've been able to use tools that I've never used before and just kind of learn more about myself in the process of trying to learn in order to write for other people, which has been fun and educating at the same time.
And Summer, what about you?
Well, I mean, across the board, our work always lights me up. It's just the fact that we're out there trying to help other people. And we do get quite a bit of positive feedback. So we know that people are listening, like our message isn't falling on deaf ears. There's people that find incredible value in what we do, and maybe that gets them through one day to the next. But when we hear that feedback, that's kind of really what makes my heart sing, knowing that all of our work is, it's worth it. It's the satisfaction, that we're making that difference. We're providing the value, we're providing support and resources kind of all in one place. And working with you and with our team has definitely personally opened up my eyes over the years, because I can be kind of narrow-minded. I've got an analytical, technical brain, and sometimes my blinders are just on, and I don't really see the whole perspective. So when we kind of tap into, all the new guests that we have coming up and all the different stories that they have on very timely topics, it kind of makes you think about your own life. And like Maria was said, reflect on some of the things that you're doing and some of the future goals that you need to make.
Okay, well, we need to wrap this interview up. So I'm going to ask each of you to share. This is a pop quiz, so take a breath. It's really not that hard. What is one word or one thing that you're looking forward to in this next quarter? And it can be about our work or about your own, what you're going after for yourself that is really making you look forward to Q1 of 2022.
Can I
All
pick
right.
2 words?
You can have as much words as you want.
All right, 2 words. Family vacation.
Woohoo! So, and a tip on summer, her family vacations involve sunshine and sand.
I didn't want to expand my words too much, but yes, tropical family vacation, I guess, would be the most accurate.
Maria, what about you?
I guess my word is farm. It's like a funny word to say on a podcast, but we're moving hopefully in a couple of weeks to a farm that we bought, and just kind of getting started on a very new big life adventure. So I'm excited just to see what all that has in store for our family.
So folks, I think we may ask Maria and Summer to come back and share how their own work and lives are evolving. Summer, you may have to give us a debrief on your upcoming tropical vacation. And Maria, we definitely want pics and an interview with you about farm life.
And I want to see the photos of you holding all the baby animals.
Oh, they're coming. Stay tuned.
Okay. So thanks everybody for listening to the No Labels, No Limits podcast, along with Maria and Summer. I'm super excited about what we've got in store for all of you. I'm thrilled about Maria's writing and Summer's help and her strategic design on the work that we do. So if you enjoyed this short podcast, please share it with your friends. Come back. We're going to be talking much more depth about the Enneagram coming up. I've got a long list of guests coming up, and Summer has a list of other experts coming up to talk about transformation. So we'll see you on the next podcast. Bye.
You've been listening to the No Labels, No Limits podcast with best-selling author